Hey my love, I am just coming on to share some about this fasting that I do all the time, and people always ask me about this, so I thought I would make this video. And especially during portals like eclipses or the solstice or full moon, I generally will do this every month. And actually, if you listen to people like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, any like enlightened masters, they always talk about this as well. So I thought I would come on here and just share a little bit about it. And if you have any questions, you can also post those in the comments. I'm happy to interact with you and give you some input. But if you also want to learn more about dry fasting, I have a video on my YouTube channel. You can just Google Dashama dry fasting, and I'll talk a little bit more about it on there. But it's so interesting because I got really into fasting even as a kid. So leave a comment if you've ever tried fasting or if you're into it yourself. And basically, I want to go over some of the reasons why you would want to do it, and then some of precautions and maybe some benefits as well, so you can get the full scope of what this is all about. So first of all, most people, when they think about fasting, they think, oh, I can never do that because I love eating so much, which I'm the same way. I do love to eat, especially really, really healthy, good food. But the benefits of fasting are just phenomenal, especially if you've been having any emotional kind of ups and downs or feeling like an intense energy inside of yourself. And this can come from the full moon. It can come from these eclipses. We have a solstice coming up. This is a major portal. And so there's all these light codes and activations happening on the planet right now. And we can choose to either align with that energy and really elevate our consciousness and ascend with that, and let this be like a springboard into the next level, which is coming in 2021. Or what could also happen is you just like get caught up in this intense energy, and it like can bring you down or drag you down with it. So the key to life, this is my perspective, the key to life is learning how to surf those waves, because there's always these waves in energy and in the universe, and these come and they affect our emotions, they affect our mind, our body, and everything in our life. And I was really meditating about this today, because today I'm on day 2 of a dry fast. And I was actually doing a lot of fasting this past week. I did 3 days liquid fasting, then I ate for like a day and a half, and then now I'm on day 2 of my dry fast. I think I might do 3 days of the dry fast, but I'm just going to explain the benefits and kind of share with you the power of this to transform your life. And it's also incredibly beneficial for reversing the aging process. One of the things that happens when you fast, one of my favorite benefits, honestly, is that your body produces 90% of the serotonin and the dopamine and the happiness hormones in our gut. So in the gut, if you have a lot of like indigestion or like food or like whatever's going on in there, parasites, heavy metals, a lot of things that can happen in your digestive system, then that's like blocking the flow of these amazing happiness hormones from getting into your brain and from feeling euphoric. So like when you're fasting, you can actually feel total euphoria and what I like to call bliss. So it's like tapping into the bliss channel, or there's another word for it is ecstasis, which is to feel ecstatic bliss. And this is actually available to us without any substances, and we can tap into that purely by fasting and connecting with our body's natural ability to produce these hormones, and also to unblock the flow, right? So my whole life I'm really dedicated to helping people get into flow state. And flow state is really the state where you feel interconnected to everything, you feel connected to the source of life, and you're able to channel the divine wisdom, the divine guidance, and infinite intelligence into your life and manifest your dreams and goals rapidly. And this is available to everybody. Some people call this the law of attraction, but there's so much more to it than the law of attraction. It's like that's one piece, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you got to know about in order to really tap into this flow state and connect with the universe in order to channel that into your life. So that's one of the major benefits, is you get tapped into the flow state, you get tapped into ecstasis, euphoric bliss, happiness, higher vibration, and also you don't need as much sleep. So it actually is interesting because I think like we would think we would need food for energy, but a lot of times the digestion of food actually takes away from our energy. So it's a very interesting balance that it's actually when you eat less, you have more energy. So I'm a real big advocate of intermittent fasting as well, where you might go like 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. I know people who do 18 hours or 20 hours a day of fasting, and then you just eat for a few hours a day. And so it's like 4 or 6 or 8 hours of the day is like your eating window, and the rest of the time you're just drinking water and consuming like high vibration liquids. That's my favorite way to do it. So that's intermittent fasting. But then there's like water fasting. This is a really tough one. I think water fasting is actually harder than dry fasting. Water fasting, I tend to feel more hungry, but water fasting is when you just only drink water. So usually if I'm going to do water fasting, I never do more than like 3 days. I know people who have done 40 days of water fasting. Usually if you're going to go to that extreme, you should have the supervision of a doctor or medical professional, because they want to take your blood pressure and make sure that you're good, because it's kind of dangerous to just do 40 days of water fasting on your own. But you could do 2 to 3 days, no problem. And what I encourage is just one day. If you're just starting out, try one day, 24 hours. And the best protocol is basically starting on the evening, like let's say Sunday evening. If you wanted to do Sunday evening, starting like 6 or 7 p.m. And that way, by Monday evening, 6 or 7 p.m., you can eat again. And it doesn't really feel like you actually missed that much of eating. And so it's much easier. So I highly encourage that if you're just getting started. But anyway, when you're fasting, you're feeling more connected to the infinite universe. So that's another benefit, that it sort of like peels away the layers of sort of like separation, or the density that keeps us feeling separate from the universe, and then you end up feeling just more interconnected to everything. So my experience of fasting has been an incredible spiritual journey, and it's been a massive upgrade in my spiritual experience of my soul interconnected to everything, and then the ability to be able to tap into that and then fulfill your purpose by having creative insight, channeling that insight into a creative endeavor in the world, in the physical world, and then manifesting your dreams here in this world. So there's like this like thin veil between us and that realm, and we can tap into that. And so fasting just makes us more subtly connected to that infinite realm, and so that we can connect to it without substances. We can connect to it even without really meditating, because what it does also is it puts you into a highly meditative state just naturally. So you can just fall into these deep meditations. Like today I did like at least 2 or 3 hours of meditation, and it's just so phenomenal, like the power, because you also not only can get there in your mind, but you're able to get there energetically. So your energy goes into this expansive state. So anyway, that's my experience. Now, some of the drawbacks I will just mention. Some people, if you're new to it, that's why I encourage just do one day to start, is because you might feel dizzy, you might feel tired, you might feel all these like detox symptoms, and that's normal. So if that happens, it's very normal. And but at the same time, if you find yourself really low blood pressure, like I remember the first time I did fasting, I did not the first time I ever did fasting, but the first time when I was trying, it was the Master Cleanse, which is only water, cayenne, and lemon. So it's like the spicy lemonade. And I did that, and I tried it for 3.5 days. I was gonna try for 7, because a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta do 7, and I couldn't do it. Like I literally, by the middle of the 4th day, it was like 3.5 days, my blood pressure went really low, and I was laying there on the bed, and I remember thinking I might die, so I had to stop. So that's when you have to listen to your intuition. Your mind will tell you, you need to stop, and then that's when, I actually went and I had something to eat, and then it was fine after that. So literally, you want to listen to your body, and this is also another benefit of this, is it makes you more in tune to be able to hear the messages that your body is talking to you, and then you form a deeper intimacy with your own inner voice, your intuition, gets clearer and stronger, and then your willingness to listen to that intuition becomes also stronger. So this is an amazing gift, because if we can listen to our intuition, then we can literally navigate our lives with much more ease and grace. Oh, we have so many comments. Let's see. Hi everybody. I just noticed all these comments at the bottom. Aloha my friends. Soul Illumination, Lisa, Beautiful Goddess, Jace, Jill, all these beautiful people. Richard, Sharma, Brandon. All right, thank you guys for showing up. I didn't know who was going to be on here because I'm in Bali right now and it's like 4 p.m. So I know on the USA it's middle of the night. But hey John, how's it going, my friend? I don't know if you're still here, but oh my God, John. You are so inspiring, by the way, Mr. John Lee Official. I always watch your posts and I just love it. Anyway, here we are. Okay, we've got Rachel up in here. We got so many people. Okay, so anyway, just wanted to kind of answer any questions. If you guys have any questions about fasting, because it's so interesting, you know, a lot of people ask me about this all the time. And for me, I've been doing it so long that I hardly ever talk about it. So hey there, beautiful. Chris. Anyway, and so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to interact. I also have a program that I teach. It's called the TLC, Total Life Cleanse. This doesn't necessarily focus on fasting, but it includes that. But the main thing with the Total Life Cleanse is really just cleansing inside and out. So it's literally like your physical cleansing, but it's also your environment, your emotions, and the people in your life, you know, like there's this huge element of cleansing that's so important and powerful. And I think now more than ever, people need to be doing that. You know, it's like we clean our house, we clean our clothes, we clean our car. You got to clean your temple. That's your body. And you have to also clean out your friends list every now and again. Anybody who's not, you know, supporting you, loving you, giving you good energy, you know, you don't need that. Because in this day and age, you know, like everything is constantly in motion and a lot of things are always changing. They say the only thing you can count on in life is change. So in that sense, if we know that things are always changing, how do we determine what is needing to change? This is my rule. If something's bringing me down more than it's bringing me up, it needs to go. And now more than ever, I really think like, if something brings me down even a little bit, it's got to go. You know, you just don't have time for that. And it's really important to be discerning. I'd say I have a question. Azucena, hi, what do you eat when you break your fast? Hey, that's a great question, goddess. Okay, so basically, when it depends. Like right now I'm doing the dry fasting. So dry fasting is the extreme version. And when you're doing dry fasting, you're not even having any water. So let me just talk a little bit about dry fasting. The reason that I got into dry fasting, and I have a whole video on this on YouTube if you guys want to learn more about that. But basically, dry fasting is the most powerful form of fasting. Medical research has shown even that when we are dry fasting, we actually produce like 100 times more stem cells in our body. So literally what happens is when you stop drinking and eating completely, your body goes into every cell and starts squeezing out any toxins that are in there and flushing them out, and then also rapidly producing stem cells, which are very healing for all your tissues, your cells, your organs, and just your whole body is healing. It's also very anti-aging. So a lot of people go and get stem cell treatments and they spend a lot of money on this. And you can produce your own stem cells naturally. All you have to do is literally, just do some dry fasting. I like to do it every month. I know people that do it once a week. You could do that 1 day a week. I like to do 3 days when I do it because I heard like 3 days is kind of the magic number, 72 hours. But after 24 hours, your body is already kicking in, producing lots more stem cells. And so, it's stem cells, it's telomeres, it's all of the anti-aging cellular regeneration. And literally, if you give your body that break from the digestive process, what happens is you literally just restore all of your systems and bring them back into harmony and balance. And so the body needs that. It's kind of like taking also digital detox. It's important for us to take time away from the computer and the phone and the TV and all of these technologies for the brain to repower and regenerate, and for our health and for our well-being and for our, like really connection to our soul. You need to take time away from technology, and this is the same thing. We need to take time away from food for the digestion to regenerate, reset, and we're the healthiest that way. Every enlightened saint talks about that. Sadhguru talks about that. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, all these guys, they talk about fasting. They all do fasting all the time. Sadhguru, those guys do it on the full moons as well. I always try to do it around the moon time, especially if there's an eclipse or a big portal like we have right now. So that's why I thought I would share about this right now, because everybody's been asking me, and I really think that this is something that it's a secret to like longevity, it's a secret to health and well-being, secret to amazing energy, and it can really make you more radiant, more alive, and feel younger, feel more in touch with your soul, more aligned with your soul purpose, and more clear. Clear is the number one gift of it, like mental clarity in your mind, so that you can really know, like, what should I be focusing on? Who in my life is a priority right now? Like, where should I be putting my energy? Like, who, and then you can get creative insights. The other thing that happens to me a lot is like miracles start to show up, because according to the Course of Miracles, our whole life should be like a continuous stream of miracles, because that's our natural state. When we're connected to the source, like the source is a miracle machine. So if we're connected to that, we're literally in the stream of miracles. So if you're not experiencing miracles on a daily basis, then something is blocked there, and it's time to unblock the flow and create more, flow, so that you can have more miracles. So that's one of my favorite benefits, getting into the miracle zone. Let's see, I got a question. Hey Dasha, make live videos with someone. Who do you want me to make a live video with? Let's see, Christina asked, how long the dry fasting? That's a good question. So I was talking about that a minute ago. I would suggest, if you wanted to try it, just start with 1 day, 24 hours. I do it for 3 days usually, sometimes 2 to 3 days. I do it just 1 day, sometimes 2, but I love to do 2 to 3 days, because literally you get into the most euphoric state after the 3rd day, usually. Sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I can't wait to eat. So it depends on what's going on in your life. But for me, I feel like I get into the most euphoric state like around the 2nd and 3rd day. But anyway, if you're just starting out, I would just start with 1 day if I were you, and just see how it goes, and try it like 1 day and then test it again. The first time I did any fasting was just 1 day water fasting. That was what I did after Thanksgiving when I was a kid, because I would eat too much, and then I would be like, okay, I can't eat like this, so then I would just do 1 whole day water fasting. So that was powerful. And then I learned, I was like, wow, this is so powerful. Let me do this more often. And then I got into liquid fasting with juices. So that's my other favorite way of doing it, juices and smoothies. I love that, because you feel nourished, you feel a lot of energy, but it's still giving you the benefits of the fasting, because your body is not in constant digestion mode. So it's like so restorative for your energy. So I have a ebook that I wrote. It's called The 7-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse. You can get that on my website, dashma.org. If you go on the courses, you can see the 7-Day Green Smoothie Cleanse. You can see the TLC, Total Life Cleanse. And this is also in the SLAY program, Self-Love and Yoga. I have all these programs, but it's also part of my yoga teacher training. I teach teachers and people how to be health coaches and how to facilitate these types of things. Let's see. I want to join you. Oh, good. Well, come on and do it. Let's see. Jazz says, how to start fasting like from home any day, and what can I take in between? Yeah, so if you want to try, I have the program. It's on my website. It's dashama.org, and you can go on the courses, and you can see it's the cleanse. So if you went dashama.org/cleanse, you can see it there too. But anyway, I have a whole program. But if you just wanted to try 1 day of fasting, I encourage you. It's so powerful. It's life-changing. Let's see, Simona, J. Roland. Hey, thank you. You're so sweet. Simona, hello, big hug from Spain. Ah, you too, goddess. Big hug back to you. Let's see, Christina, thanks. Oh, you're welcome, goddess. Do you tend to sleep more during the 3-day dry fasting? It depends, because I'm in Bali and I've been doing this event, and it's like a USA time zone. So I've been having to get up and be in, like in the middle of the night and stuff. So I've been having a weird sleep pattern right now. But generally, actually, when I'm fasting, I need less sleep. So that's the unique thing about it, is it gives you a lot of energy, especially if you do water or juice fasting. Those two give you a lot of energy. I tend to sleep like 5 hours, 6 hours maximum when I'm doing those types of fast. When I'm doing dry fasting, it takes a little bit more, I need more sleep. But it doesn't make you sleep more. But what it does is it makes me want to meditate more. And I do like to lay down on it more. But it's not necessarily to go into sleep. It's to go into an inward experience and to expand into that energy and to connect with the universe and to really allow the creative flow to happen, to come into my consciousness and for it to flow through me. And I get all these creative ideas and visions, and I can like feel things much more intensely. So the sensitivity to the feeling is really amplified, and that's really powerful if you're trying to manifest something. So then you can bring it into your vision, you can see it in your mind, and then like drop it down into your heart and then amplify the feeling of it and then send that out to the universe. And that's like sending a broadcast message of what it is that you're calling in, what it is that you're creating. And this is a secret to manifestation. Let's see. Someone says, from last 7 hours, didn't eat anything yet, feeling hungry. Ah, Jazz. Well, that's the thing. When you get into the cycle of eating, you tend to feel hungry more. So you're like, I'm hungry all the time. And then when you stop eating, actually, that's another one of the benefits. When I started fasting, it actually cured my hypoglycemia. I used to have hypoglycemia, which means basically that like my blood sugar would crash all the time and I would feel hungry all the time. Then I would get hangry because I would get angry and hungry and upset and irritable and all of those things. Now that never happens because I cured it. And the cure to it legitimately was fasting. Like I was able to break through that part of my consciousness that was in this hunger, hangry, irritable cycle trap, and to move beyond that. And when I got beyond that, it was like, the miracle of my life, because that was such a prison, to be a prisoner to my hunger and to be a prisoner to the emotions that arise from that hunger and to be a prisoner to like blaming other people for me being upset because I'm hungry. And that was irritating for me and everyone around me. So now that never happens. Literally, I can go days without food. I'm like content. I can go, because what happens is then you get into a euphoria, and then the euphoria feeling of just being like in bliss and happiness and like not giving a shit what's going on outside of you because you feel so good inside of you. You're like, life is so good. That's what we want. That's what we all want to live like, right? So that's what fasting helps us to experience that. And then once you've experienced it through fasting, then you can carry that experience out into the daily life, even when you're eating. And then you're also more discerning with what you eat, because you realize when you eat too much, it makes you tired. When you eat the wrong things, it makes you feel bad. When you kind of like obsess about food, then you're trying to avoid the present moment, or you're trying to numb out and avoid some emotions or whatever it is. So you can start to see how your relationship to food is either healthy or not healthy. And the parts of it that are not healthy, then those are the parts of it that we need to heal. And as you work through the journey of fasting, it's a powerful meditation, and you're able to see those aspects of yourself that are not whole and that are grasping for something, that are never fulfilled, never satisfied. Nothing's ever enough. And so we're always trying to fill that hole with something, whether it's food, sex, drugs, material purchases, whatever it is, and like once we get clear and we realize that that's not real, that's a big illusion that we're like buying into.